It's quite unfortunate that younger Romanians nowadays don't really understand the value of a lot of countries, or at least their value back in the day. So, today we're going to cover up how life is for Romanians who decided to live in Nigeria. Mind you, that this video is different from the video I once made on if Romanians should go to Nigeria. This one, however, is going to cover up their lives now. Maybe if they went out of Nigeria, coming back to Romania, what really took them to Nigeria and what brought them back here. Now, in this case, I grew up with one of my parents being Romanian, so I can say a lot about this. I know a lot of Romanians who lived in Nigeria. Some of them decided to go elsewhere. Some of them maybe they decided to still go back. Some of them still decided to stay or come back to their home, Romania. Now, one thing about these younger generation, rather my generation and a bit older, Gen Z in Romania, is that when you say that you're gonna leave the country, what they would expect is either you're going to somewhere else in Europe or you're going to somewhere in America, you know, most likely the US or Canada. Or if you should go to Asia, maybe somewhere like China, but it's still less likely. If you do tell them that you're going to somewhere like Africa, they're probably gonna make jokes, laugh, and most likely ask why. Now, apparently, I would say that in this age, obviously, a lot of things have changed and a lot of people have different views on things. There are different statistics compared to about 20 years ago. In the early 2000s, and pretty much after communism in Romania, a lot of people saw it as freedom to do a lot of things, freedom to earn a lot of money, and so on. And one thing about Nigeria was that it was known for petrol and gas. It was known for exportation. So most of the people who were coming to Nigeria were mostly engineers. And Romania having quite a reputation historically for petrol and gas and refineries and all that, they figured that it would be a good chance. Now, I'm not saying that it's only in that sector. There were many other sectors, okay? And it's not just Romanians. A lot of foreigners were coming to Nigeria in this period. People from the United States, people from the UK, Germans, and so on. And mind you that it wasn't only in Nigeria, other parts of Africa as well. Well, basically, they were expatriates, but normally, why did Romanians even accept? They had the option to not have malaria and other possible sicknesses. They had the chance to, not live in a difficult situation as shown on the media, and a lot of things which people just hear about Africa and Nigeria in general. Like they had the chance to probably choose a closer country. But why did a lot of people choose Nigeria? Here's the thing, expatriates are paid more than, you know, the citizens in Nigeria. I mean, if you go to places like Germany and a lot of other countries, there are some countries in Europe where Romanians are even discriminated and paid less than the citizens, or at least minimum wage, or given very low pay jobs. Yeah, so things are seen differently. When you go to countries in Europe and in America, you are paying for a lot of things. You're paying for health insurance, you're paying taxes that will strip off your plans of saving and taking it back to your home. And by the time you pay your bills and all of that, you're left with nothing unless you are lucky enough to be given free accommodation, which for someone who usually just goes to a country in search of a job, if it isn't offered to them, obviously they will pay for their own rent, they'll pay for their own cost of living. But most expatriates who come to Nigeria are offered almost everything for their cost of living. Are offered shelter, in very good shelters most of the time, like great environments, total safety. You stay in an estate or in a camp or something in most cases. And and sometimes you do get food maybe with discounts or free food. It depends, or you could just buy it yourself. It really depends on the company, but this is how most companies or most Nigerian job offers usually are to expatriates. You're basically having enough savings, okay? You will have enough savings to take back home, and yeah, no taxes. So for somebody who's good at saving and gets these kind of jobs in Nigeria, they are most likely gonna save more than, in European countries or countries with high taxes and cost of living, assuming you are paying for all of that. And another thing is that they're all earning almost the same salaries because, first of all, in Nigeria, most expatriates are paid in dollars, and basically about the same price as many other countries. Even if you were given the same amount in Nigeria that you would earn in Romania, a lot of people would still prefer it as of then because no tax and low cost of living. So you really just have enough to save. As for other reasons Romanians could go, I can't really think of any. Like, a lot of Romanians wouldn't really want to go to Nigeria for education, realistically, okay? Businesses, it's possible, but I think that's mostly what a lot of Asians tend to do, or people in the United States, go to establish a business, and most of the time they don't stay there permanently. Of course, in Nigeria, you're still gonna, get some sicknesses, but over here, I think it's just exaggerated. Like, Romanians exaggerate these things a lot. There are people who have malaria every month. I was one of those people, and I'm still healthy, I'm still alive. I saw it like the way Romanians would see a flu. Now, how has life been for these people? Well, most of these contracts or jobs are usually not very long term, or really not long term at all, obviously. And even if they were long term, they're not really the kind that maybe would give you pension. You're not a citizen. It's very hard to even gain citizenship as an immigrant in Nigeria, or as a man normally. I mean, it's easier for women to get citizenship, especially through marriage, however, in Nigeria, but not for men. A lot of Romanians have stayed in Nigeria and started families. Yeah, a lot of them stayed, got married, had kids. A lot of Romanians, once their contracts are done, either they stay there, get another job, or they go back to their home country, get another job there, or invest, or they go to another country. Like, a lot of Romanians, there are some Romanians who basically, throughout their lives that they can work with, okay, they spend it being expatriates from one country to another, I don't know, getting as much money as possible. But then the downside of this is you don't have enough freedom as in your home country, Romania, obviously. You don't have as much safety sometimes. You're going from one country to another, and in most situations, you will be forced to learn the language, else you're gone. So, yeah, this is how a lot of Romanians who stayed, lived, grew in Nigeria, and some of them are still in Nigeria doing the same thing. A lot of Romanians which are still in Nigeria right now, either they have families, they seem to like the country, because a lot of Romanians who left Nigeria, one thing they would tell you was that they miss Nigeria. A lot of them actually did miss Nigeria, a lot of them didn't. But those who really missed it, like, enjoy the simplicity of life. But here's the reality. What they enjoyed isn't what the normal citizens would enjoy, okay? Like, you're given a lot of opportunities that the citizens don't even get, maybe 50%. So yeah, just be grateful. So I guess this video is just to change perspectives, narratives, whatever, on where people really decide to grow and live their lives and do whatever they want, okay? Because while there is a lot of false narratives online, on what's on the media and so on, you really don't know and wouldn't know unless you go and see for yourself. I also want to kind of use this opportunity to apologize that I can't really be posting more often. Life has been busy and so on. So yeah, I can't make promises, but I'm gonna try my best to keep this channel active. If you enjoyed this video to the end, please consider subscribing, sharing, commenting, educating us in whatever way you can. If if you have anything to say, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.